Hey folks, welcome. I've been away for a little while, so I thought I'd come back to Microsoft Flight Simulator and do one of my more enjoyable approaches. It's no mystery. It's one of the approaches enjoyed by a lot of folks. It's called the river approach to, I believe it's runway 1 at Reagan National in Washington, D.C. Very scenic approach, and just as you're catching the ILS to runway 1, you've got the Potomac River down below you as a visual guide. And so here we are in Norfolk, Virginia, south of Washington, D.C. And unfortunately, I don't have any North American liveries for my Airbus, so we're in a British Airways. We're going to be Speedbird today. Perhaps this plane came from somewhere else. Would not usually be here at Norfolk, but maybe it came down for emergency landing, got fixed, and now it's on its way to Washington Reagan, where you might certainly find it there. So let's push ready to fly. Here we are. Got some American aircraft nearby. Some Delta in the other terminal, the other concourse. Only one terminal, a couple of concourses. Oh, what's going on? Got a control issue here. Sorry for the pause there. I think we've got it under control. Maybe not. Okay, we'll try that again. Still nothing. Frustrating. Okay, we got the head tracking working now, so I think we're back in business. Let's hop aboard. Is Christy with us this morning? Oh, yes, there she is. Good morning, Christy. You got one little couple of strands of hair out of place. Oh no, I know you're such a perfect person. Hard to imagine. Let's come back here and do a rainbow check. Start here on the floor in the corner. Come up along this wall. We'll check to see all the circuit breakers are pushed in. Make sure they're flush. Check for any emergency equipment, first aid kit, crash axe, airframe and power plants logbooks, fire extinguisher. Check to see if that's in the green here in just a little bit. Move our eyes sort of in a rainbow motion around the back of the flight deck here behind the seats. There's the fire extinguisher. I can see the arrow as well in the green. Might also check the oxygen supply for the jump seat occupant back here. And then once that's done, I can take my proper seat up front. Wonderful. Let's go to the overhead. External power is available. turn on the fly-by-wire A32NX crew to get Christie's functionality going. I'll also turn on Pushback Express to provide a virtual ground crew and some realistic handling, including a realistic pushback. And one more thing I'll add, RAS, Runway Environment. This is an automated system that requires very little pilot input. RAS Pro, that's what I want. And let's get Christy. When I start the countdown for the pre-flight, Christy will do a couple of things. She will turn on the external power, turn the battery switches on. She will do a fire test on the APU, and she will turn on the nav lights, and then she'll announce she's out for her pre-flight. So we'll start up and let all that happen.
Let's start setting up.
Okay.
I'll get the integrity lights turned up. There's the nav lights. I will arm the emergency exit lights. Turn on no smoking. Turn on seatbelt sign. Turn on the wing lights.
I'm out for the walk around.
Turn on the ground control switch. Do a cockpit voice recorder test. It's faint, but I can hear it. Ground control off. Command evac switch. Do an evac test. It's set to captain and purser. That's fine. And there's the proper alarm. Get the ADIR system lined up. System 1 to nav, 2 to nav, 3 to nav. She did a fire test on the APU. We're going to hold off on the fire tests on the engines. Fuel pumps are off. That's fine for now. Battery voltage, 28 volts and 27 volts. That's fine. No AC coming from the no power coming from the generators because the engines are not on. Cabin air conditioning is not on, but the packs will be to auto once we get the APU fired up. Probe heat, anti-ice is off for now. Cabin pressure will be to automatic. Lights are fine for now. Let's do a test for smoke in the cargo area. That test is fine. Let's get down to our display unit. Helps us access the flight management computer. I'm going to go to the Atsu menu and then to the company menu. Do initialization. We'll draw our flight information from the flight plan that I've filed already. Norfolk, Virginia to Washington National. Flight number 43. Fuel on board is 9.5. That's a lot of fuel. That's a lot of fuel for where we're going. Estimated flight time, 32 minutes. Let's go to the next page. And this can be filled out once we've landed. Time off, time in, who the landing pilot was. Did we use auto land? Fuel remaining. Okay, that's for when we've landed. Let's go back to the company menu. We'll do a weather request, meet TARS for KORF, that's Norfolk, Virginia. We'll also do one for DCA, Reagan National. And we'll get one more for KPIT, Pittsburgh, which is our alternate. And METAR is current weather conditions. We'll send that request. We'll toggle over to TAF, Terminal Aerodrome Forecast, and we'll send that request as well. Go back to the company menu. I don't think it'll work this morning yet, but we'll get an ATIS for our arrival airport. Automated Terminal Information Service. Information of a routine nature. For arrival airport, and we'll have it sent to the printer, and we'll push send. Not too lucky with getting ATIS over the data link, but we'll try. And weight and balance. Block fuel. Taxi fuel, trip fuel. We'll go ahead and load that in. And next page. Received messages. ATIS. Not available. Okay. Received messages. TAF. Date block. Time block. Winds 240 at 4 knots. 4 knots from the west. Southwest. 6 miles visibility. Few clouds. 12,000 feet. Date block. Time block. Few clouds. 2,500. Time block. 080 at 5. So going from the west to the south at 5 knots. Basically very good weather. For our arrival, date block, time block, 340 at 8, from the north at 8, gust to 15. So there's a little bit of gusty on landing from the north, and we're going to be approaching from the south, so that's good. We'll have a nice headwind, even though it might be a little gusty. 6 miles visibility, few 12,000, scattered at 25,000. 230. Oh, this time block 060 from the northeast at 4. So starting from the north and then changing over to the northeast, but no more gusts here, just 4 knots. So fairly high clouds, very light winds. Let's print. TAF is printed, and we'll go back to the METAR. Scattered 8,500, temperature 16, 2.12. Altimeter is rather high, high pressure setting, indicative of better weather. Nothing surprising here, so we'll print that.
I'm back. No issues on the walk around.
Okay.
She does a quick walk around. Let's go to the McDo menu, the flight management computer menu. We are indeed in an Airbus A3200 with LEAP 1A engines. We have an out-of-date AirAx cycle, but we'll use it. Data, aircraft status, initialization. From Norfolk to Reagan National, alternate is Pittsburgh. Flight 43, cost index is 25. Tropopause is way up at 38,000 feet, well above where we're going to be flying, so we don't need to recalculate that and verify that. We'll do an IRS initialization. The IRSs are aligned on the 3 GPSs, and the GPS signals are identical, which is great. Wind, we'll enter in some wind since we know our top of climb winds. Top of climb winds, 320 at 32 with an ISA deviation of positive 5 degrees, and our flight level today is flight level 240. So 320, 32 at 240. Great. Let's go to our flight plan, and we don't know our runways yet, so we need to get our runways, which means we need a clearance, which means we need to connect air traffic control.
Norfolk International Information Uniform, 1151 Zulu, winds are 249er at 6 knots. Visibility 10 miles. 8,500 scattered. Temperature 16, dew point 12. Current QNH is 1029er. Arriving and departing runway 23. Norfolk International Information Uniform, 1151 Zulu, winds are 249er at 6 knots. Visibility 10 miles. 8,500 scattered. Temperature 16, dew point 12. Current QNH is 1029er. Arriving and departing runway 23.
Well, we know our runway because there's only the 2 here at Norfolk, and we're on 23, so that's fine.
Hi, the security and safety check are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Yes, you can start boarding.
Thanks.
Bring those fine folks aboard, and while you're doing that, I'm going to go to performance. Oh, no, initialization. Oops. Let's go to McDo menu, ATSU menu, AOC menu, weight and balance, second page, and start the boarding process. Oh, send. There's a breakdown of our passengers and our center of gravity, our payload. We'll start the boarding process. You can start seeing the passengers boarding, and in very short order, you're going to start hearing some movement in the back as the folks start to take their seats. Let's get a clearance. Norfolk clearance delivery. Speedbird 43, ready to copy.
Speedbird 43 is cleared to Kilo Delta Charlie Alpha as filed. Expect departure runway 23. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.9er. Squawk 6062. Speedbird 43 read back correct. QNH is 1029er, contact ground on 121.9er when ready for pushback. Have a good morning.
QNH is 1029 ground on 121.9er, speedbird 43.
Transponder is set. TCAS system is to the traffic advisory mode, and transponder is in the auto mode. Speed brakes are up, flaps are up, parking brake is set, landing gear handle is down, thrust levers are idle. Thrust levers need some work. I'm going to put you folks on pause while I work out we got a bit of a thrust lever issue, so I'm going to put the recording on pause. I believe I have the throttle issue solved, so that's good. Let's turn up some of these integrity lights. The ground person brought in our load sheet while you were away, so we can come down here, see if I can lock the cockpit door. Progressive wind shear system is off. Weather radar is off. We can turn up some more of these lights. Boy, these display lights are really dim. Turn up some of these on the pilot flying side and also on the pilot not flying side. These lights cranked up. On the MCP and also the lights on the EFIS system. Now that we know our runway, let's go to our flight plan, or our flight management computer. We're off of Norfolk. The departure is on runway 23. And we don't have a departure procedure. So we'll just insert that. HWP is our first waypoint. Trump is our one and only waypoint. HPW is a VOR, so VOR and then Trump, and then we're immediately on our procedure. And the procedure to DCA today is...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board today. As you locate your assigned seats, please place your smaller items under the seat in front of you to provide more room for larger items in our overhead
Southwest 751, runway 1, be a Kilo Charlie to hold short point.
Kilo Charlie, if you are unable to accommodate any item in the cabin, please bring it to the boarding door and we will check it for you. Also, review the safety instruction card in your seat pocket. If you are seated at an exit seat, also review the exit seating criteria.
So, Trump, and then we're immediately on the Iron 7. And no discontinuities. That looks pretty good. Performance. This is only the second time I'm going to use it, but let's try to use our new performance calculator. If I can remember what I called it in here. SimSmart. SimSmart is what it is. And Usually I would look to get a flex temperature and a flap setting from SimSmart. Unfortunately, I think all I'm going to be able to get out of it is a flap setting. Airport code is KORF. Runway 23. Wind
2. Norfolk International Information Victor, 1151 Zulu winds are 249er at 6 knots. Visibility 10 miles. 8,500 scattered. Temperature 16, dew point 12. Current QNH is 1029er. Arriving and departing runway 23. Norfolk International Information Victor, 1151 Zulu winds are 249er at 6 knots. Visibility 10 miles. 8,500 scattered. Temperature 16, dew point 12. Current QNH is 1029er. Arriving and departing runway 23. Norfolk International Information Victor, 1150.
Got to go into the air traffic control configuration and tell it that we are in North America, so we get our altimeter settings in inches of mercury. Okay, so that shouldn't
Hey
happen
guys,
again.
are we clear to close?
Yes.
Thanks. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, she's going to close up. Let's go outside. I can see the jet bridge is pulled away. The door is closed. Let's talk to the ground crew.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
Confirm all ground checks complete. We're cleared to pressurize the hydraulics.
Outside check is completed, all doors and panels are closed, no issues found. You can pressurize your hydraulics anytime now.
Great. Let's go outside and get the...
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We will be ready shortly.
Understood.
He's going to go ahead and connect up the tug. Takeoff weight. Is 64,967. Takeoff center of gravity. We have 67,800 is aboard. Fuel is 5860. Center of gravity is standard. Takeoff thrust is flex. Configuration is flaps F+1. Air conditioning will be on. And anti-ice will be off. And we can push calculate. These V-speeds might not be exactly what are calculated by the computer, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. The all reverses operating. Flex temp is 67 degrees. So 67 degrees for a flex temp. 0.0 down on the flaps configuration. Flaps 1, trim 0.0 down, and 139, 135, and 134. Let's see how that matches up with the calculation. 38, 36, and 36. Really close. So again, I'm not going to worry if they're only one off.
Hawker 2 Quebec Golf, Kennedy clearance, good evening. To the Atlantic City Airport, Kennedy 5 departure.
So take that 139.
Fly runway heading onto the JFK 1.5 DME. Then turn right heading 100. Vectors Dixie, Dennis filed. Maintain 5000. Squawk 1114.
2 Quebec Golf, clear to Atlantic City, the Kennedy 5 runway heading to the JFK 1.5, right turn 100. Vectors Dixie is filed 5000 and squawk at 1114.
Hawker 2 Quebec Golf, request correct. This is Yankee, ground point when you're ready to.
Make sure the constraints are on. I'm going to give us an initial takeoff range of 20 nautical miles. Let's go back upstairs and get the APU fired up. So, we want to turn the beacon on. Crew oxygen supply on. We'll do a fire test on engine number 1. We'll do a fire test on engine number 2. We'll get the fuel pumps fired up. We'll hit APU master switch on. APU start. And APU bleed on. Flap is open. You can see the APU is starting to come alive. Get our radio flipped over to the ground frequency. Norfolk ground, Speedbird 4-tree, request pushback and engine start.
Speedbird 4-3 pushback and engine start approved.
Pushback and engine start approved. Speedbird 4-3.
We have our electrical power, we have our bleed air. Christy, are you ready to run a checklist?
Before start checklist.
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On and auto.
Are you sure about that? Adheres.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
5840 kilograms. Set.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Barrel ref.
2992. Set.
2992. Set. Down to the line.
That's not actually our. It's not our altimeter setting. Remember, it's more like 30 something. Let's get the good one.
Norfolk International Information Victor, 1151 Zulu winds are 249er at 6 knots. Visibility 10 miles. 8,500 scattered. Temperature 16, dew point 12. Current altimeter is 3039er. Arriving and departing runway 23.
That's a really
Norfolk
high
International Information
altimeter
Victor,
setting.
1151 Zulu winds are 249er at 6 knots. Visibility 10 miles. 8,500 scattered.
We have permission to push and start. We have our tug connected. We have our APU running. And let's get that push.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Understood. Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back. All ground equipment is clear. You can start the engines at your discretion.
Below the line.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
Off.
Before start, checklist complete.
Starting engine 2.
The push is complete. Please set the brakes.
Once again, ladies
Parking
and
brake
gentlemen,
set.
welcome on board
Understood.
our flight today.
Okay, the turbo is disconnected and the pin is out and equipment is clear.
Please direct
Thanks,
your
and you can
attention
disconnect
to
and go to
cabin
hand
crew
signals.
for
Thanks, have a good flight, and we'll see you later.
There is an instruction card in your seat pocket that illustrates the safety equipment on this aircraft. Regulations require compliance with this information as well as all crew instructions, lighted information signs, and posted placards. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle.
So we pushed before the Southwest on gate 1?
Okay, who is this and where are you?
Jazz 451 at gate 3.
Okay, Jazz 451, it's non-movement, and as I said before, use caution for the gentleman beside you there. Your pushback is approved at your discretion.
Okay, we're using caution, I guess he is. Thanks.
Locate the exit nearest you. The nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, lights will illuminate the aisle. The cabin is pressurized. If there is a loss of cabin pressure, a panel will open and oxygen masks will appear. Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and pull a mask toward you to start the flow of oxygen. Oxygen will be flowing to the mask even though the bag may not inflate. Cover your nose and mouth with the mask. Place the elastic band around your head and tighten by pulling on the ends. Secure your own mask before assisting others. Your seat bottom cushion may be used as a flotation device. Pull up and remove the cushion. Upon exiting the aircraft, place your arms around the cushion and hold on to the straps located on the back. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin or lavatories. Cabin lights will now be turned off. Reading light buttons are located above your seat. Thank you for your attention.
Taxi briefing. We are here at the concourse, pushed away from the concourse. Our taxi brief will be taxiway Charlie to the end of runway 23, departure to the southwest. No special obstacles or notes to be made, and it's pretty good. So let's do our departure brief. Runway 23, climb heading 227 to 4,000 feet. We are cleared currently to 4,000 feet. 227 is runway heading, and then vectors on course. So very simple taxi and departure briefing.
After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
ECAM status.
Takeoff. Brakes to max. Ding the cabin crew. Flaps to 1. Speed brake is armed. And takeoff configuration is, oops. What don't you like? Takeoff configuration. is normal.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Great. Let's do a flight control check.
Flight control check.
Ready. Full down. Full up. Neutral. Full right. Full left. Neutral.
Rudder.
Full left. Full right. Neutral.
And your turn. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go upstairs and kill the APU. And your side is done. So let me get a clearance to taxi. Norfolk ground. Speedbird 43. Request taxi runway 23.
Speedbird 43 taxi to runway 23 via taxiways Charlie. Hold short runway 23.
Taxi to runway 23 via taxiways Charlie. Hold short runway 23 Speedbird 43.
Clear left side.
Clear right side.
And why did you put up the flaps? I'm not going to have this flaps issue today, am I?
Cross 4 with you, Southwest 751.
JetBlue 1223, cross 4 and Juliet there, towers on the other side. You'll go out number 1.
Cross 4 and Juliet North Tower, JetBlue 1223, good day.
Parking brake off. Brake check. Oh, I don't want to get behind this American guy. I'm going to race him to the runway. Oh, he might be coming in.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
26% set.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Request takeoff clearance.
Tower. Speedbird 43. Ready for departure. Cleared for departure. Speedbird 43.
It's that flap setting again. Don't know why the flaps never stay down.
Below the line. Brake check.
Pressure 0. Approach path clear of traffic. Take off runway.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Cabin crew.
Speedbird 43 contact tower on 120.8. Have a nice flight.
Tower on 120.8 Speedbird 43.
Advised.
TCAS.
TARA.
Engine mode selector.
Ignition.
Packs.
Packs are off.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Norfolk Tower, Speedbird 43, ready for departure, runway 23.
Speedbird 43 winds are 289 are at 7 knots, altimeter 3041 cleared for takeoff. Runway 23 maintain runway heading until above 1,000 feet, then turn right heading 346 to intercept course.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 23 maintain runway heading until above 1,000 feet, then right to 346 Speedbird 43.
Speedbird 43 climb and maintain 9,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 9,000 feet Speedbird 43.
Just been given 9,000. Let's go ahead and start the clock. Parking brake off. She's already cleared the approach path.
Southwest 669 at the shoreline, turn left heading 210, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff.
At the shoreline, left 210, 25 right, clear for takeoff, Southwest 669.
Parking brake off.
Approaching. 2, 3.
Take off.
Check.
On
Thrust set.
runway. 2, 3. Flaps.
Manflex
Flaps.
6, 7. SRS, auto thrust blue.
Check.
Okay. Flex takeoff.
knots.
Checked.
On taxiway, on taxiway.
Positive climb.
Gear up.
100.
Too low, terrain.
Gear up.
Too low, terrain.
$300. 400.
Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Flap 0.
Speed checked.
Speedbird 43 contact Norfolk departure on 118.9er. Have a good afternoon.
Departure on 118.9er Speedbird 43.
Packs are on. Flaps 0.
Departure Speedbird 43 climbing to 9,000 feet.
Speedbird 43 climb and maintain 14,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 14,000 feet Speedbird 43.
After takeoff, climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Packs.
Packs are on.
Down to the line.
We're only going to 24,000 feet
Transport
today.
3726 Heavy, traffic 12 o'clock, 3 miles northbound, Metroliner 9,000.
Transition altitude is 18,000 feet, which we'll be reaching here pretty quickly.
Speedbird 43 climb and maintain flight level 180.
Climb and maintain flight level 180 Speedbird 43.
Clear rad nav.
Okay.
Below the line.
Barrel ref.
3039.
3039. After takeoff, climb checklist complete.
Speedbird 43 contact Washington Center on 132.55. Enjoy your afternoon.
Center on 132.55. Take care Speedbird 43.
Contact Washington.
$1,000 to go.
Check.
Speedbird 43 contact center on 123.85.
Contact center on 123.85 Speedbird 43. Center Speedbird 43 climbing to flight level 180.
That's transition altitude. Let's go to standard pressure. Oops.
Set standard.
Standard cross check. Passing flight level 172 now.
Checked.
Speed.
Delta 574, in the transition, maintain 260 knots.
260 knots in the transition, Delta 574.
We are reaching our VOR waypoint of HWP, Hopewell. And then Trump, and then we're on our procedure. So the CAPS 3 procedure to runway 1. From CAPS 025 to Hoyas, then on track to 053 to Hall, then on track to Cadern, on track 008. Expect assigned instrument approach for radar vectors. Hoyas is the slogan for Georgetown University, a very famous Washington, D.C. college, university complex. So that is our arrival briefing. And approach to runway 1 ILS. Oh, that's runway 5. We don't want runway 5. We want runway 1. Oh, gotta change the airport. There we go. Now.
Speedford force redescent via the IM-7 arrival with direct transition to 2600 feet altimeter 304 at Ronald Reagan, Washington, Natl.
Descend via the IM-7 arrival with the RIP transition to 2600 feet altimeter 3044 Speedbird 43.
speed for 43 contact Washington Center on 13.55 enjoy your afternoon.
Center on 132.55 Speedbird 43. Center Speedbird 43 descending to 2,600 feet. Altimeter 3042 Speedbird 43.
Decision
Altimeter
altitude.
setting.
There, 6 extend on 135.7. 135.7, there, 6 heads.
3 degree standard glide slope. Decision height is 114 AGL.
Altimeter setting.
.3042. So the high pressure is even getting higher now. It's very unusual to have a pressure that's 3042. Remember, the higher the pressure is indicative of good weather. Wherever the low is, there's something lower than where we are. That is drawing the weather toward the low and away from the high.
You have control.
I have control.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, this is the captain speaking. We're going to begin our initial descent here momentarily. At this time, I'm going to turn the seatbelt sign back on, so please return your seats and keep your seatbelt securely fastened until the aircraft has come to a stop at the gate and the seatbelt sign has been turned off. It's been our pleasure having you on board for today's flight, and we hope to see you back on a future flight again real soon. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
So we are approaching 10,000 feet, and we have almost leveled out, only 500 foot per minute descent. And the reason the computer is doing that is because our speed is still high. We're at 270 knots, and the computer knows to bring us down to 250 knots before we drop below that 10,000 foot threshold.
Delta 116, center 134.9 or 5.
3495, Delta 116, good night.
I have control.
You have control.
Approach checklist.
Briefing.
Did we brief? I don't know if we briefed or not. I can't remember. Brief for the arrival, CAPS 3 arrival, which we're already on. From CAPS, Hoyas, yes, we did brief this. Okay. Yes, we briefed this. We're good. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
Confirmed.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Seatbelts.
On.
Barrel rest.
3, 0, 4, 2, set.
3, 0, 4, 2, set. Minimum.
No DH.
Engine mode selector.
No DH. That means I haven't done all my work. QNH is 3042. Temperature, let's get a ATIS from DCA.
Speed needed for
approach on 11
Maryland Information Whiskey 12.
Speedbird 43 contact approach on 118.67.
Contact approach on 118.67 Speedbird 43.
Maryland Information Whiskey 1256 Zulu. Local weather not available. Weather at Davis and AAF is winds are 349er at 7 knots. Visibility 10 miles. Skies clear. Temperature 19, dew point 11. Current altimeter is 3043. Arriving and departing runway 02. Maryland Information Whiskey 1256 Zulu. Local weather not available. Weather at Davis and AAF is winds are 349er at 7 knots. Visibility 10 miles. Skies clear. Temperature 19, dew point 11. Current altimeter is 3043. Arriving and departing runway 02. Maryland Information Whiskey 1256 Zulu. Local weather not available. Weather at Davis and AAF is winds are 349er at 7 knots.
I tuned in the wrong ATIS frequency, but that weather is close enough. Doesn't have to be perfect.
Approach Speedbird 43 descending to 2,600 feet.
This is a known issue of the fly-by-wire stable version. When after you've gone into approach mode, the display is often not how you left it. So the fact that we're not following the green line perfectly is normal for the stable version, I'm told.
Falcon 8 Bravo Kilo, just going to maintain 5,000.
Down to 5,000 now, Falcon 1 8 Bravo Kilo.
Let's turn on the landing system on both sides.
1,000 to go.
Check.
Turn on the localizer, intercept, the approach intercept. Oh, not yet. Don't have them yet.
Radar altimeter alive.
Check.
Supposed to be a 35-minute flight. Since we hit the chrono button on takeoff, oh, we just caught the radio frequency. We've been in the air 27 minutes, so we're pretty close to that 35-minute mark. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the localizer and the approach, and we'll turn on the second autopilot. We're set up for Cat 3 dual autopilot.
Ignition.
Approach checklist complete.
$2,500.
Okay, we're just now crossing USR waypoint, and this should get us on our track for runway 1. There you can see the Potomac River just ahead of us. Hence the name River Approach, and this is kind of why people like to fly it. You get this nice view of the Potomac as we're coming in.
American 439, reduce speed to 210, Conic approach 126.6.
210 and 126.6, American 439.
Let's go to flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Speed check. Flaps 1.
Yeah, we had a real hard time keeping the flaps down on takeoff. Are we going to have the same hard time keeping the flaps down on landing? Captured the localizer. Glide slope is coming in. Let's go to flaps 2.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
See, our flaps are not staying down.
Are you sure about that? Speed, speed. Are you sure about that?
Speedbird 43 turn left heading
speed.
340 vectors to the one of approach for runway 19 at Ronald Reagan, Washington National. Heading 340 vectors to the left approach for runway 19 Speedbird
Are you sure
43.
about that? Speed, speed.
I'm having to fight this flap switch. Gear down.
Flaps 2.
Check speed. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Flaps full.
Transport 3726 Heavy, traffic no factor, Conic approach 126.6.
Air Transport 3746.
Keep the flaps down.
Approaching.
Check.
0, 1.
Landing
Flaps.
checklist.
Cabin crew.
Flaps.
Advised.
Flaps.
Auto thrust.
Flaps.
Speed.
Auto brake.
Flaps. Flaps.
Off.
ECAM
Flaps.
memo.
Landed.
Flaps.
No blue.
Landing
Flaps.
checklist complete.
Continue.
Flaps.
Check.
Flaps. Flaps.
$500. $400.
Auto land.
100 above.
Check.
Minimum.
Continue.
Spoilers. Reverse green. Decel.
900 meters remaining. 600 meters remaining.
70 knots.
Reversers off. Autopilot disengage.
Smooth landing.
Approaching. 1-5.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion of our flight. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign and the aircraft is parked safely at the gate. This will be your indication it is safe to move about the cabin, gather your belongings, and disembark. We'd like to thank you for flying with us today. We appreciate your business and hope to see you again on a future flight.
After landing checklist.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Spoilers.
Disarmed.
APU.
Start.
Radar.
Off.
Predictive wind shear system.
Off.
After landing checklist complete.
Parking brake. Engine cut off. Seatbelt sign. Here comes the jet bridge.
United 237, reduce speed to 230.
Slow to 230, United 237.
Parking checklist.
APU bleed.
Do we have external power?
On.
Are you sure about that? Engines.
Off.
Seatbelts.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Off.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Parking brake and chocks.
On.
Parking checklist complete.
Securing the aircraft checklist.
Adheres.
Off.
Oxygen.
Off.
APU bleed.
Off.
Emergency exit light.
Off.
Signs.
Off.
APU and battery.
Off.
Securing the aircraft checklist complete.
Thanks for joining me today, folks. Hope to see you next time.